Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday or unhappy Sunday because Alex is saying that gas prices are killing me. The prices have forced me to eat ultra cheap, like eating Vienna sausages with rice or small, tiny, cheap TV dinners. Yeah, here in the state of California, gas prices have just really skyrocketed and it's making it really hard on people and their budgets. Um, Something that I have done when I am trying to save money on groceries and things like that is not shopping at like Ralph's or Trader Joe's um or Vaughn's, like just kind of skipping those mid-tier grocery stores. And if you have a superior, a food for less, or a local grocery store that's like more of a neighborhood grocery store, a lot of times those are going to be more affordable. And then, of course, shopping the sales. I think it's Tuesday or Wednesday that you get like the ads. Um, and I'm lucky. I have a grocery store that's usually pretty affordable that I can walk to, and definitely like meal prepping and cooking. I should, I know like during the pandemic, I could make a pretty good meal for under $2. So I should try and do that again. And since I'm single, sometimes like the quantity that I can make for $2 is actually enough for multiple meals. And then I like to combine that with an app like Ibotta. Sometimes the stuff on Ibotta is stuff that you wouldn't really buy, but other times it is. And then, like, if you go to a Ralph's versus if you have a Walmart grocery store near you, like, usually the Walmart grocery store is going to be cheaper. But if you watch the ads, a lot of times it'll be for my local grocery store, it's usually produce is on sale Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you need onions, bananas, strawberries, that kind of thing, you want to go to that grocery store on Tuesday, Wednesday. And then if you need meat, that normally goes on sale Thursday through Friday. I don't know if it's kind of like they think people are going to be um, grilling on the weekend, so they put the meat on sale, or maybe they know that people meal prep. Guys, I am so sorry. My hair is like totally wackadoo today. But yeah, gas prices are insane. It is costing me, I want to say over $50 now to fill my little Prius C. And I was so happy because it had gone back down to about $50 and now it's back up. Okay, Andrew says, is Governor Newsom going to release winter blend gasoline soon, or is he not going to do that? I think they have to do that here in California. So if anybody's watching from out of state, um, California uses a different blend of gas in the summer, and that's normally a more expensive blend. Something about how the heat affects the gas, um, the blend of gas. Like, so we need like a better, different blend in the summer. And so the summer blend is normally more expensive. I did see an article where they're sending out like, what are they called? Inspectors to make sure that the gas stations aren't overly inflating their their prices. Good morning, Joy and Joey. Joy and Joey Archives. You have is it Archives like the food, or Chives? I don't know. Anyway, you did tell me you changed your name a lot, and I see that you have changed it again. But good morning. And good morning, Mom. My mom says that going live on YouTube is the only way that she knows what day it is. Okay. Family Dollar says, someone told me rudely to get an EV, but those are too expensive, and a massive car payment would replace what I pay for gas now in my fully paid car. In fact, the car payment will be more. Yeah. And here's the thing also about a new car and EVs, right? Because EVs are supposed to be better for the environment. And I believe that they are, right? Although electricity isn't like a finite resource, otherwise, we wouldn't have power outages. But all of the materials that it takes to make a new car, it's not going to outweigh, and I'm no scientist, right? This is not scientifically backed information. This is just like Shelley logic. All of the parts that I feel like I've read this somewhere. It's not going to be more environmentally friendly to replace an older car with an EV as long as your older car still runs. All of the good morning, Bella V, and thanks Joy and Joey for telling my mom good morning. So, like, it's not going to be more environmentally friendly to replace your car with an EV if you don't actually need to replace your car. And yeah, I've been looking and I really want a Tesla, but I don't think it's definitely not in the cards for me right now. Even my mom was like, "Why would you think about spending that much money on a car?" And there's nothing wrong with my car, so I won't. I will share something that I'm annoyed with you guys. I put it in my back pocket just so I could show you guys. My watch died. I have an Apple Watch. Look what happens on the screen. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. So when I try and turn it on, come on. Okay, well, it won't even turn on, but is like a little, oh my goodness. Don't let me be the person to shut things up. You can't really see, but it's just staticky. I cannot get it to turn on. So I need a new watch. And I do feel like I need a watch for work. Like people will be like, what time does the movie start? And if I'm not wearing a watch, like I can't tell. Or a lot of times at the movie theater, people will ask what time it is. And if I don't have a watch and if I'm not like wearing the right glasses or whatever, um, then I'm like, I don't know. Or I have to like stop and find a computer screen where I have to search to remember where they put the time on the computer. Anyway, I kind of need a watch. I don't necessarily need an Apple Watch, although I do really like it. It's really easy to set a timer. So I think I am going to go to the Apple store today. And first, I'm going to see if they can do anything to make this one work again. I think what happened is I put it on a charger and sorry, my watch band's dirty, but anyway, I think this part got like bloated. I think I left it on the charger too long. Okay. Good morning, Debbie. Little green guy misses you. You haven't been in the lives for an actual while. I know you watch afterwards, so it's good to see you. Diana, good to see you as well. Deanna. I think you told me it's Deanna. Okay, good morning. Yeah, and we need to talk about the SAVE program. Also, I just want to remind everybody while you're in here that you can get new COVID test for free at covid.gov. I know that they've been extending the dates. Let me go get something really quick because my mom likes to talk about government waste. There's 9 of you in here. I'm gonna risk popping out for 2 seconds. They're right on my kitchen table. Okay, hold on. Now, I was a good little person. Can you hear me? I was a good little citizen and I did what I was supposed to do. And I ordered the COVID test, the free COVID test, every time they were allowed to do it. So and these are 2 packs. Yep, 2 packs. 2 tests. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And these are all expired. They said to use them by 8/19 of 2022. Now they have extended the date on a lot. And guys, if you need to know, it's on the back here. And you can go right there from the covid.gov website. You can go and it's easier just to use the search bar than scrolling through everything. So I had to type in the brand as iHealth. And then you find your lot number and you see how far the expiration date has been extended. But all of these 12, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 test, they're not good anymore. And my best friend, like I was like, "Oh, I have COVID test." And I was like, "Here, just use one." Like I think they extended the expiration date, but the little test line that's supposed to come up to show you that the test is working accurately wouldn't even come up on these, because I was like, maybe it's really extended past when they say it's extended, but the sample line to show if it's working didn't even come up on these. So check your test on hand. But so these were all free tests, which is great, except that they encouraged people so much to like, go get your free COVID test, go get your free COVID test, go get your free COVID test. And I did it so that I could give it to my friends, so that if my coworkers needed one, I could bring one from home. So that my mom would have some. But unfortunately, this does result in in government waste, right? Because these need to go in the trash. The only reason why these are not in the trash is I wanted to make a little video, and I was like, ow. Okay, that was not how I envisioned that. But anyway, I was gonna make a video and try and make that cinematic. He doesn't have COVID and he doesn't transmit COVID, Debbie. Okay. Bella's reminding everybody to please like the video. It does help, but as much as I love seeing you guys, I would love to grow this audience. I feel like we do talk about valuable things in terms of budget and finance and just kind of things that are going on in the world on the weekends. But yeah, a lot of familiar faces. Okay, so Bella V has a really good point too. Something that my mom has reminded me while I want a Tesla is that EV maintenance can be extremely costly. A lot of times those do need to go back to the, oh, I'm going to sneeze. It's not COVID. It's just probably from the dust on those old tests when I threw them in the air like that. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of times they have to go back to the dealer, and if something goes wrong with them, then a lot of times it is a costly repair. Okay. Joel says, EVs are kind of bland looking. Only the Model S is what I would want, but that Tesla is higher price Tesla. Yeah, and I would never personally, I do like the way the Model S looks, but that's not at all in my budget. Maybe one day, like when the house is paid off, maybe the Model 3 would be in my budget. But really, the Prius is fine for me and it's still going. Okay. Joy and Joey says, I have an Android, but I want an Apple Watch. I don't like Samsung's watches. Yeah. And for the most part, though, so my watch is broken. I'm thinking about getting a new one later today. That's not in the budget. My big trip to Portugal and Egypt is only a month away at this point in time. So I need to be saving for that, not getting a watch. But my watch says it's time for a watch. But I could just get a little Timex or something. I mostly use this just as a watch, just to tell time. I'm not doing anything fancy with it. If I do get a new watch, like if I take this to the Apple store and they're not able to fix it, which I don't think they're going to be able to do, but if they can't fix this when I take it, I will not get the newest model. I'll probably get last year's model because that should be cheaper. And I wish that they could like trade this in. And I'm so annoyed. I'm also annoyed with myself that I left it on the charger long enough that I think it made the battery bulge. But yeah, so I mostly just use this as a watch. So maybe I should just get like a $40 Timex. I do use this to set a timer pretty frequently, like if I'm cooking or wearing a face mask or even brushing my teeth, or if I'm going on a walk. And I do like it for the fitness tracking. So I like it for all those reasons. But do I like it enough? Like the newest iWatch, it's not an iWatch. The newest Apple Watch is like $549. So that's crazy. Okay. Debbie wants to discuss movies. Okay, we'll do that. A Haunting in Venice is still our number one film. And then we've got Dumb Money, which is kind of about like the GameStop stock and how it went up during the pandemic. Then we have Da, 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 da. My theater's like doing re-releases of Halloween themed slasher movies all month, which is kind of cool. We're getting ready for the new Scorsese and DiCaprio film, which I always get the title of wrong. Killers of the Flower Moon? Yeah, Killers of the Flower Moon is the name of that film. So we're pretty excited about that. Of course, Taylor Swift's if you missed her concert, she's releasing her concert film. We're pretty excited about that. This is normally a pretty small theme for movies. There's 14 of you in here. If you could like the video. Also, we go off topic quite a lot, but we are going to talk about the SAVE program, which kind of um, because student loan payments resumed as of today. So enroll in the SAVE program, get your free COVID test at covid.gov. If you need new tests or you're like me and yours are expired, even with those extension dates. And then I want to talk about the $20 fast food minimum wage that did officially pass. Governor Newsom signed that into law. Oh, and I have lots of thoughts on that. So, okay. It's worth calling the main office at Apple. You may get some help or a discount for replacement. Don't mention the charger. Sylvia, this is a really, really good tip because I don't know if you guys remember when I unboxed my iPhone. I think this is the 14. When I unboxed my 14 on live, and then it had a problem, and I had to go back about a million times. I did call customer support and they actually gifted me free AirPods for my trouble. So that is a really, really, really great tip. And then a lot of times, some of the credit cards that I use, they actually extend the manufacturer's warranty. They double it. But I bought that watch in 2019, so I'd be well out of any warranty today by now. Okay. Good morning, Bonnie. Joel says some of my coworkers think that the state needs another gas rebate. That won't happen. We'll never say never, but yeah, we definitely do need we just need more relief in general. We need prices to come down. We need wages to go up. And all of that. Debbie says, is COVID work downtime still being paid? It's not. There was exclusion pay where basically if you reported to your work that you had COVID and then your employer is still supposed to exclude you from the workplace for at least 5 days, and the day you test, that's day 0. So you count from the day after you receive a positive test result or symptoms. Your employer has to exclude you from work for 5 days. On day 6, which is really day 7, you can if you're symptom free, you can go back to work. So I started to say you had to test, but I don't think you do anymore. But there's no extra exclusion pay, even though your employer has to exclude you, unless you work for a generous employer that's just doing it out of the kindness of their heart, which most of them are not. If you had sick pay available, and in California, everybody should have at least 24 hours of sick pay, and then it can be more based on what county you live in. You can use your regular sick pay towards any COVID time off. You can also use sick pay for things like if you're taking an immediate family member to a doctor's appointment, if you're caring for an immediate family member, you can use it. Sick pay in California doesn't just have to be used if you get food poisoning overnight or if you wake up and you've got a fever. It can be like for planned doctor's appointments as well. So, for example, this coming Thursday, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I've been having trouble with a tooth on my left hand side. And I just haven't been eating on my left hand side because I went to the dentist 6 times already for this issue and they haven't been able to fix it. So I'm planning on going, and they think it's going to be a root canal. If it's a root canal, that's going to be more expense too. Anyway, Okay. Hi, Anthony. You got a COVID test and you're negative. Woohoo! All right. Thank you for updating us, and I'm glad that it is negative. Joy and Joey says our insurance send us expired ones too with a new expiration date. I always wonder if they are accurate. You can check that website to make sure that they're accurate. And my insurance doesn't. Pollen's high today. Yep. Okay. You want my Prius. This is the time you have been spared such a huge pain at the pump. Yeah, it's not as bad for me with the Prius because it's a little gas tank. It only holds like 8 gallons. Oh, good morning, Francis. We need to do my hair before my trip. Okay. And Prince Ellie, it's good to see you in here. I always talk about you in regards to the refinancing of your car. Your favorite film was Scorsese and DiCaprio is Wolf of Wall Street. It's so funny. Uh-oh, back to the movies. Okay. Um, my theater is also doing like they call it filmmaker focus, and we're focusing on the films Killer of the Flower Moon. I always want to call it, there was a movie something Paper Moon, so I keep trying to like confuse that in my brain. Killer of the Flower Moon is coming out, I want to say like late October, and so we're going to be doing a filmmaker focus with all the DiCaprio and Scorsese movies leading up to the release of that. Okay. Anthony says, maybe I do think I need a root canal and I do have insurance. The thing is, like, who doesn't hate the dentist? But they really scare the stuff out of me. Um, and I've literally been 6 times for the same tooth. But I do want to get that taken care of before I'm on a plane because I don't know, I just feel like the altitude like messes with your teeth, certainly messes with your ears. I don't know. So I do need to get that taken care of. And they did, like the last time I was there, they were like, well, we can open it up again, but it might be a root canal. Okay. Let's talk for a minute about the $20 fast food minimum wage that just got passed here in California before I remind everybody to tell everybody that if they've got student loans to please enroll in the SAVE program, and that's going to be at studentaid.gov. But $20 fast food minimum wage just passed. I wish I would have saved the comments from the article I was reading because a lot of people are like, this is going to be automated. They're going to replace workers with robots. And the thing is, like, people were using the example of like those touch screens where customers place the order. Um, and they're like, no, it's not going to be, they're not going to replace workers because people can't figure out how to use those. And I think that's true. I think that guests struggle with that. Like my mom can figure those out, but like would rather deal with a person. But where I think they're going to automate, right? Elon Musk debuted some robot, and I think at like a national concession convention recently, there are now robots. So the one that Elon Musk introduced, everybody made fun of the robot because it couldn't walk. But that's not what they need the robot to do. What they need the robot to do is stand in front of the grill and flip the fries and get out the fries after a certain amount of time and maybe twist so that then it could put the fries in a bag or in a box. Now, I don't think a robot would be able to open like the little fry bags, but those boxes that already come open, I do think that their little robot arms could do that. There's also like robot baristas now. And I want to say that these robots that can like cook food are only like $30,000. And while that is a whole lot of money, a robot's not going to call out sick. Now, again, like kind of like a Tesla, like if the robot needs repairs, that's probably expensive. But I would imagine that there's like a warranty period, right? So the robot's not going to call out sick. In theory, if the robot breaks, you're going to be able to fix it. Now, if somehow the robot melted its arm in the frying oil, that would be bad. But if the robot melts its arm in the frying oil, as bad as that would be, and it would probably smell terrible, but No workers' comp on the robot. The robot doesn't have to go to the doctor, miss days of work, and potentially sue the company for millions. So I do think that robots could do a lot of the back end. Like I am not saying that they should. Let's be clear on that. I'm not saying that I want robots to replace jobs in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying that they could, and I could see how to a business owner that would be attractive. It is very hard for me to that's a huge, huge jump. Let's also, I still have the math up from last time because this is also going to affect salaried workers. Okay, so if you work at a grocery store as a manager, minimum salary, I think we did this at $16 an hour because that's what California state minimum wage is going up to in 2024. So that would be the salary of a grocery store employee, of your local mini golf employee, of your Petco employee. That's a minimum salaried position at a non-fast food restaurant. But if your salary in the fast food industry, your minimum salary would be $83,200. So if you work for a Chipotle, a McDonald's, a Wendy's, what the heck is that last one? What the heck? Subway. I couldn't read my own writing. Subway. Those are just a few. I love Taco Bell. And so I texted my old boss and I was like, oh my God, look how much, if this gets signed into law, look how much those salaried managers of like a Taco Bell would be making. They would make $16,640 more than the grocery store manager, the Petco store manager, the Marshall's manager. And maybe you've gotten some raises, maybe you're not at the starting salary, but like this is the starting salary as well in fast food now. Well, as of April 1st, 2024. So that's a lot. That's $16,640. That's more than $1,000 more a month. That is a lot of money. That's like half of the price of a new Tesla Model 3. Like, that's a crazy difference in my mind. Like, I have to be honest, I am not making $83,200. I am salaried. And I've been with the company a long time. So, but this is still a considerable amount more than I'm currently making. And so when I texted my old boss, I was like, I'm gonna go manage a Taco Bell. He was like, and you would get free food. And you guys, I love Taco Bell. I feel like if I managed a Taco Bell, though, it would erase some of the magic of actually eating Taco Bell. But I could eat Taco Bell probably for free. I don't know what their employee discount is, but I do know that I love Taco Bell. But again, if I manage a Taco Bell, it might kill some of the magic for me if I see how the food is actually prepared. And there's some people that still probably will not want to work in fast food. I think that this is, they say it's to give the lowest wage workers like kind of a fighting chance at being able to pay their bills. But I'm just not sure that that's going to have the intended effect. And even though, like on paper, this is what a salaried manager would make at a Taco Bell, Chipotle, McDonald's, Wendy's, Subway, etc. These companies don't have to have salaried managers. They don't have to keep a manager on salary. They could say, no, you're going to be hourly now. We're going to pay you $5 more than the staff that you're managing. And I do think managing anyone is a tough job, right? So, but I think that they will not keep managers on salary. I think that they'll bump them back down to hourly positions, and I do think that they will try and because the individual companies aren't going to want to make less, right? And let's just go through like a quick example. This is going to be as of April 2024. I don't know which side of this to use to erase. Does it matter? I don't think so. Okay. So in April of 2024, let's just say that you have, okay, so minimum wage is going to be $16 in the state of California in 2024. And then if you're a fast food employee and the chain that you work for has more than 60 locations nationwide, not just in California, but nationwide, they're going to have to pay $20 more, not $20 more, $20 an hour, which would be $4 an hour more than the other minimum wage, which that's already going up 50 cents. So let's actually use 450. Okay. So minimum wage is currently $15.50. But in April of 2024, for fast food employees, it's going up to 20, which is $4.50 more. Okay. Now, let's say that you have 12 employees, right? And I think that's probably low, but we're going to go with 12 employees. And those 12 employees each work 40 hours a week. Now, I know at fast food that they don't always work a full 40-hour work week. For a lot of people, that's a second job, or it's a job while they're in school, or what have you. But just for this example. So now, okay, 12 employees times 40 hours a week, that equals 480 hours a week that those 12 employees are working. And hopefully, like if the companies have more than 12 employees, this will help average that out, times an extra $4.50 an hour times 4.5. Sorry, I'm doing this on my calculator off screen. That's an extra $2,160 every single week. So times 52 weeks. Oh dear. Okay. So that times, I should have done the time symbol there, times 52. Are you ready, guys? I'm going to write the number real big over here. Is an extra $112,000. And that's like, I would say that probably a fast food location probably has more than 12 employees. They're probably not making each doing 40 hours. So hopefully the math kind of works out. But so that means that all of the sudden in the state of California, it's going to cost them an extra $112,320 than it does this year. And that is just in labor cost. That is not including if that's not including if their supply costs go up. So let's say that whoever the truck driver is, or the company who supplies McDonald's with their buns, that's assuming that all of those costs are exactly the same as they are this year, which that's probably not going to be the case. Usually those types of things go up. A lot of times when the gas prices go up, the people bringing the buns to McDonald's, they charge a fuel surcharge. So a lot of times, sometimes electricity goes up, sometimes. So the cost to keep the lobby of the air conditioner working, that cost goes up. Then if the fryer or the air conditioning in the restaurant lobby goes out and you have to call a repairman, most of the time those expenses, those go up annually. Those don't stay the same. So now you've got increased repair and maintenance cost, increased utility cost, and now you have to increase your labor by $112,320. I think And then they say this is going to put smaller businesses out of business because their costs are going up. But do you want to work at the local mom and pop place for 16 an hour when you could work at a bigger chain and get $20 an hour? I don't think so. I would rather make like, because $4, okay. And okay, $4.50. Oh, we gotta start fresh so that we can see how much more that is for the employee. And I think I did this last week, but in case you missed it, and I just think it's important and it's like mind-blowing. So they're going to be making an extra $4 an hour times 40 hours a week. Actually, they'd be making $4.50 more an hour than they are now, but we're just gonna, everybody has to go up to 16 starting next year. So 4 times 40 equals an extra $160 a week times 52 weeks times 52 equals, that's an extra $8,320 a year. So am I going to work at a local mom and pop shop for 16 an hour when I could be making $20 an hour and miss out on $8,320? I don't think so. I wouldn't. So all of these things are going to factor in, right? So I'm not sure if this was a good decision or not. I want minimum wage workers to make more. But I also want these businesses not to use robots and to stay in business. So it's kind of a catch-22. All right, let's see here. Bella V says, is that the injustices suffered by an Indian tribe that became rich from oil found in some land that was given to them, assuming the land was not good for anything? I am not sure what that's in, regards to. That became rich. The gas prices? I'm confused. I don't know. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Let me scroll back up and see if I missed anything. Bella V, I'm confused. Okay. Ben says, my local Korean barbecue place already uses robots to serve drinks and the meat. No servers at all. And see, like, all that stuff is kitschy, right? Like, I would love a little robot to bring me my food and beverage. That sounds cool. See, it sounds cool, and I'm like, oh, I want to go there. But really, like, are those little robots that I'm like, oh, that sounds cute? Are they taking jobs from people? Probably. Okay, my robot talk. What is funnier is I'm being serious talking about it. No, I am. Like, I know that I was like, their little robot arms can do X, Y, and Z. But I think that's what's gonna happen. Like, they're gonna like flip a basket. And robots scare me, guys. Like, I have not watched Terminator, and all the robots, like, they look like they're from Terminator. They do not look friendly. Well, maybe the little ones, like in the Korean barbecue. I have seen some cute robots, but I've also seen ones that are like terrifying. And their arms aren't really little. They're like regular human-sized arms, but made of metal. And no brain. I don't know. It's freaky, but I definitely think if we're looking at spending, right? What did I say? I said that I thought that those robots were about $28,000. So if, and each employee is going to be making 8,000 some odd dollars more. So we said, like, we're going to just call it 112,000. It was 320. So we'll write that. I could buy almost 4 robots. If a robot is $28,000, I could get 4 robots. 4 robots, right? Let's just make sure. 112,320 divided by $28,000. Yeah. Oh, I could buy a little more. I could buy 4.01 to buy a finger. 4.01 robots for the price of the increased labor. And a lot of times when they're rolling out this new technology, like robots or something, they give incentives to companies for trying it out. But if you were an employer, right, would you rather get 4 robots or pay those 12 employees $112,000 more? Those 12 employees, oh, also training cost, right? Fast food restaurants have a lot of turnover. So you have to train a new employee. I just hit myself in the face. You have to train a new, see, if I was a robot, I wouldn't have just done that. You have to train a new employee how to use the fryer. It's basically anytime you train somebody, you're paying somebody double wages because you're paying the trainer and the trainee for usually a shift that is only run by one person. But you train a robot once, it's never going to quit. It's never going to call out sick. Well, I mean, it would break, but you've got your 3 other robots because you could buy 4. It's never going to call out sick. It doesn't, unless you change your recipe, the robot's not going to need retrained. You're going to train the robot once and it's going to retain that training. It's going to, or programming, whatever, however robots learn. I don't like the idea of robots learning either, but you're not going to have to worry about the robot calling out sick. You're not going to, for the most part, unless something does malfunction and their arm falls into the fryer, which would stink up the place. Think about burning plastic, burning metal, burning whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's like fryer proof parts. Who knows? But for the most part, it's not going to break and you wouldn't need to pay it like a workplace injury. You don't have to worry about it. Well, hopefully you don't have to worry about it like saying inappropriate things to coworkers, or like it's just going to do the job and it's probably going to be able to do it faster than humans. And it doesn't need to be able to walk because you're still going to have some humans working in the restaurant, be it in the back or in the front. But yeah, like I do think it's going to make I think it's going to speed up the process of robots using the fryer. And honestly, fryers kind of scare me. We actually have one at my movie theater. It's kind of cool, but I don't know. I'm always like, I'm going to burn myself. You don't have like a robot being timid about burning itself because like it doesn't care. Okay. Bella says, one late mention regarding movies. There's a PBS documentary on YouTube that you can watch and know the true story prior to watching the movie. What movie? I think some of your stuff is cutting out, Bella. Is this about the Indian tribes? Some oil found in lands that was given to them. If they were given that land, like if you give me a ring, not a wedding ring, let's just say it's a birthday gift and you give me a ring. It's not a boyfriend, it's a mom. My mom gives me a ring that in 10 years is worth 10 times what she paid, and I want to sell that ring. It was a gift to me, so I should get to keep that money. But there's a lot of injustices just in general. Okay, Ben says it will learn and get smart daily. It'll want to wipe out humans, so it'll poison your drinks. AI on the rise. Hopefully it won't get smarter and poison my drink or dip its little robot fingers. Oh, also it's not gonna need any meals. It doesn't have to go on a break. It can work 24. Oh, it doesn't get overtime. I'm not selling it for the employees here. But like, so I can really see it from both perspectives, right? I can see like California, we need to figure out a way to get more people to be able to afford the outrageous rent. But from a business standpoint, I don't see how year after year, training after training, employee turnover, it's going to be so hard. I don't know what the profit margins are on like a franchise McDonald's. But I've always heard that restaurant profit margins aren't very high to begin with, and then you just automatically increase this business's labor cost by a tenth of $1,000,000, a little bit more than that. Like, that's so much money. I have to imagine that $112,000 is more than some of these locations' entire profit in a year, right? Like, let's say that I'm a franchisee owner and I own 2 franchises. If I was making $200,000 a year, I would be like, "Dee-da-dee-da-dee." I would be really happy with $200,000 a year if I owned 2 franchises. So I would be happy if my store on an annual basis, like, and maybe these aren't good numbers because I'm not a franchise owner. But personally, in my life, if I had $200,000 coming in every year, I would be really happy. But now all of a sudden, if my labor cost increased by $112,000 each store I own, then all of a sudden each store is in the hole $12,000. Like, I'm going to have to figure that out. And either I'm going to have to close some locations or all of my locations, or I'm going to have to figure out a way to like make up the difference while factoring in the fact that cost of goods could go up, that utilities can go up. In some places, their rent might go up. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's such an extreme jump. And I'm not saying that the people working there don't need it or don't deserve it. I am just not sure that it's going to have the effect that the government is trying to tell us it's going to have. I think it's going to put a lot of people out of jobs. And I think that they're going to be trying to like train, if they don't use robots and AI, I think that they're going to try and get the employees to like speed up and do more during their shift, which is going to mean more tired employees and more mistakes made and more disgruntled worker. It doesn't. If somebody thinks that long term this $20 wage is going to be a good thing, I would love to hear the logic behind it in the comments. Like, it doesn't. I want this to be a win for the fast food workers. I just am not sure it is. I think for the ones that don't get replaced by robots, maybe, as long as their workload doesn't pile up. Like, if your pay increases by $4 an hour, but your boss now expects you to do the jobs of 2 or 3 people, I'm also not sure that that's a win. Right? Like, a fast food job, while not easy, it should be like a kind of fun after school job. Like, a lot of people meet really good friends at these jobs. Um, a lot of times friends will work at these jobs together. So they go to school, then they go work at McDonald's afterwards, and then they go home. But like even though they're like making burgers and cleaning bathrooms, they're doing it like with their other friends from school. And so it makes the day pass by fast and it's kind of fun. Um, or like when you're giving people grimace shakes, maybe it's fun. But like, if all of a sudden they're not hiring your friend anymore because like it's the little green man taking over your job because he's a robot. He's not a robot. But like, then you're not working with your friend anymore. Then you're just standing with a robot that doesn't talk. Then your job, and they're expecting you to do more. Oops. Oh, that's crazy. Sylvia says, okay, it's kind of AI. Sylvia says, just me mentioning Apple in the chat gave me a lot of Apple news on my feed. AI is taking over. I sent my friend a TikTok and it was a dance. And I was like, ha, and it's a dance that I probably cannot do. Well, I definitely can't do it now, but even if I like learned it, I still probably couldn't do it. But I was like, oh, haha, we should get together and we should do this dance next time we hang out. And then she responded back. She was like, girl, your knees can't do that dance. And I was like, okay, fine, you're right. But The very next like video after she was like, "You can't do that dance," it gave me a tutorial on how to do the dance. So yeah, I definitely think that technology is listening. Um, let's talk about the SAVE program. I haven't shared my screen at all yet. Do I have another? Yes, I do. So this morning, I was looking at the news before I hopped on, and oops. Okay. But this is the public student loan forgiveness, which is not what I want. I'm going to take a sip of coffee, which you guys know means please take a moment and like the video. The article that I was reading this morning gave out all of, not all, but it gave out some different examples of people who are going to now have to start paying back their student loans. So student loans have been on pause for about 3 years, and they're going to resume starting this month. Happy October 1st, everyone. Also, Mom, you didn't comment. Mom, I do have to go to work later. So, I'll be finishing up my live, then investigating my watch situation, and then going to work. Okay. So, ba, 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 ba. Basically, it was saying that, like, even with the SAVE program, their loan repayment was going to be like $250, all the way up to somebody who was going to be paying $800 in monthly payments. And in the past 3 years, inflation has gone up, and cost of financing things has gone up, like interest rates have gone up. And a lot of these people said that they were already putting expenses on their credit cards because things like gas have gone up. And so what they were making, it's no longer making ends meet. And to fill in the gap, and guys, please try not to do this. To fill in the gap, they're putting things on credit cards, and they're not able to pay the balance in full at the end of each month. So those credit, which then means the minimum payments on those credit cards are also going up. And now, so they were already in that situation, and now they're adding an extra between $250 to $800 in student loan repayments into that non-existent wiggle room. But if you know anybody with student loans, definitely look into enrolling in the SAVE plan. And the SAVE plan, repayment plan, it offers lower monthly loan payments. And since we're getting to the end of this, and I don't think most of you are in college still, just go to studentaid.gov and you can hit this apply for save button, and that will hopefully save you some money. Ba, 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 ba. So yeah, information on this lower monthly loan repayment plan on studentaid.gov. All right. Does anybody have any other topics that they want me to cover real quick before I hop off? I do think I'm going to end the live just a few minutes early today. Also, I mentioned that I have that trip overseas to Portugal and Egypt coming up. I am not sure if I will be able to stream when I'm there. That's a whole nother month away. If I don't, I'll try and like leave community posts and things. All right, you guys, I don't see any other questions. So please remind anybody with student loans to apply for the SAVE program at studentaid.gov. Get your free COVID test at covid.gov. Try and, something that I've been meaning to do also is just walk a little bit more. If you've got a grocery store close by, get those sales, go a couple times a week, one day for meat, the other day for produce, depending on what's on sale. Try and walk there and back. That way you'll save a little bit on gas and hopefully on your groceries as well. And please let me know in the comments after this, like, let me know what you think about this $20 fast food minimum wage here in California. I'm just not sure it's going to be good. I want it to be, but I'm not sure. So you guys let me know. All right, have a great rest of your Sunday, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching Shelly's Millions.